So we'll be changing this error message as so we'll open our project in VS Code. First we'll create a new file called toast.js. This is a functional component, so const toast equals to props, and this will return a div which says toast. So we'll export this component toast, right, and we'll use this component in our login page, right. So here instead of having this message state, we'll have the toast state. So const toast comma set toast equals to use state. So this will have three properties. The first one is show toast. Initially this will be false. Second one is message. Initially this will be an empty string. Third one is type. Initially this will be empty string. So type is the class name for the toast. So it can be danger, or it can be info, it can be warning, like that, right. So after setting the state, we'll come to our validation, and instead of setting the message, we'll set the toast. Set toast. So set toast, show toast will be true, and message will be, we'll just copy this from here, we'll paste it here, and type will be danger, right. So it's a danger message, right, and we'll copy this and paste it here, and we'll also copy this message and paste it here. We'll comment this out and finally paste it here, right. This will be false, message is nothing, and type is also nothing, right. And here in our JSX, instead of using the normal div, we'll use the toast. So we'll use the conditional rendering. So toast dot show toast. If show toast is true, then we'll render toast component, else we'll render nothing. So this toast component will have three props, right. First one is set toast equals to set toast. Second one is message. So this will be toast dot message, and the last one is type equals to toast dot type, right. So all the changes are made in the login. So here inside our toast component, we'll receive three props. First one is set toast, second one is message, third one is type, right. So first we'll replace this with the message, hit save. So we get the message here, right. When we click, we get the message. We'll have a button for closing the toast, right. So button, this will have this X alphabet, and we'll have another div for the message. Div, we paste the message here, right. So we need to style this. We don't want the message to be here, we want the message to be here below, right. So we'll give this we'll create a new style sheet. So new file toast.module.css. We'll import the styles here first. So import styles from dot slash toast.module.css. So we'll give this a class name, right? So class name of styles dot toast. So this is a close button, right? We'll also have a class name. So class name of styles dot close, 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 right? And now we'll style our toast, right? So first is toast display flex, position is absolute, save. So to place this here in the bottom, we'll give the bottom property. Bottom is 1 rem. Let's save. It goes down. We'll give this a box shadow, right? So box shadow 0 pixel, 10 pixel, 30 pixel, 10 pixel, and RGBA of 0, 0, 0, 0.07. Hit save. So we have our box shadow. We need to give some padding, right? So padding will be 1 rem. Hit save. We have our padding. This also needs some border radius. Border radius of 5 pixel, I guess. Hit save. So this has some good border radius. We'll give some width to it. So width to the toast. So width will be 400 pixel. Hit save. And justify content is space between. Hit save. And now we'll style the close button, right? So close. First we'll give cursor as pointer, then border will be none. Hit save. And height will be 20 pixel, width will also be 20 pixel. Hit save. And border radius will be 50 pixel. Hit save. So it's round, it's nice and circle. So we need this button in the center, right? So what we'll do is align self center. Hit save. Right. So right now our toast doesn't close. Toast we need to have a close function, right? So we'll write a close function. Const close equals to so this will set toast as show toast will be false. So we'll set the show toast property as false, right? We'll hit save and we'll place this close function inside the on click of this button. On click equals to close. So now when we click this button, it should close, right? It works fine, right? We also want the toast to automatically close, right? So for that, and we also need the toast to have some transition. So right now when we hit submit, the toast appears suddenly. It doesn't have any transition, right? So we'll give this some transition. And how we'll do is we'll have the opacity state. So const opacity, set opacity, right, equals to use state. So initially this will be opacity 0. So the opacity will be 0 initially for this toast, right? So we'll place this state inside the class name, right? So how we'll do this? We'll use the template literals. We'll have multiple class name. First is the toast, second class name is the opacity. So styles dot opacity, right? So right now we don't have any class name, so we'll write the class name. So opacity 0 equals to opacity 0, and our transition will be 0.2 seconds. So this is for the animation, and same for the opacity 1 as well. So opacity 1 equals to opacity 1, right? And right now when we click submit, our toast doesn't show. It is there, but the opacity is 0, right? So initially the opacity is 0, and now we'll have a use effect, right? So use effect, so a callback function, an empty dependency array. So inside this use effect we'll have a timeout. So const timeout equals to set timeout. This will have a call. First argument is the callback, second argument is the time after which this function will run. So we'll have this will pass 0 milliseconds, because we want this function to run as soon as this this component mounts, right? So what we'll do inside this timeout is we'll set the opacity to opacity 1. We'll hit save, and right now when we close this and click submit, the toast appears with the transition, right? And now we also want the toast to disappear after some time. So let's say we want the toast to disappear after 4 seconds. For that we'll have another timeout. So we'll copy and paste this, we'll rename this as 2. So in this second timeout we'll set the opacity back to 0, but here inside that time, instead of passing 0 milliseconds, we'll pass 4000 milliseconds, which is 4 seconds. So we are saying that after 4 seconds the opacity should become 0, right? We'll hit save, and we'll wait for 4 seconds. It disappears, but the toast is still there. So you can see the cursor, right? We want the state to be false as well, right? So for that we'll have another timeout. So this timeout will rename it as 3. We'll instead of setting the opacity, we'll set the toast, right? So here we'll set the toast as show toast as false. But but when the toast disappears, it disappears instantly, right? Because we have the same timer. So 4 seconds here and 4 seconds here, but our transition takes 200 milliseconds. So 0.2 seconds is 200 milliseconds, right? So that's why we need to pass 4200 milliseconds here. So now when we hit submit, our toast should disappear with the transition, right? Okay, fine. And inside our return callback of useEffect, we'll clear all the timeouts, right? So timeout 1, timeout 2, and timeout 3 as well. We'll hit save, and our toast component is almost complete. So it appears with the transition, it disappears with the transition, but we still have a problem. So when we click this button, it disappears instantly. It doesn't disappear with the transition when we click the button, right? So to avoid this, inside a close function, before setting the toast to false, we'll set the opacity. Set opacity back to 0. Opacity is 0, right? So the opacity is set to 0 instantly, but we don't want the toast to be false instantly, right? So we'll cut this from here and have another set timeout of, we'll have the callback, right? And here the second argument will be 200 milliseconds, because the opacity 0 because the transition of opacity 0 takes 200 milliseconds, right? That's why we are passing 200 here, and we'll paste the code here. So after 200 millisecond, after the transition, the state is set to false. The state of the toast is set to false. So when we click the button, it should disappear with the transition, right? So that's all, guys. But we haven't used the type prop, whether if this toast is info or danger or a success toast. So for that, first we'll style the class names. So danger will be border bottom of solid 2 pixel. So I have chosen this. So danger color is this. Copy, paste it here, and we'll just copy this class name. So danger, success, info, and warning, right? So the warning color is this. We copy this, paste it here. We'll remove the hashtag, and info color is this. We'll copy this, we'll paste it here. Let's save. Success color is this, so this nice green. Copy this and we'll paste it here. Semicolon. Hit save. So right now we are not using this prop, right? So we don't know what kind of toast this is. So here in our login, we are passing the type here. We are setting the type to danger here, right? So here we'll use this class. We'll use this prop as a class name, right? So first class name is toast, second class name is the opacity, third class name is the styles dot type. We'll hit save, and now when we click submit, it is a danger prop. So we can change, instead of danger, we'll set this to info and hit save. Now when we click submit, it's an info message, right? We'll change this back, save. So now we have set the toast message in our login page, but we need to replace this here as well. So what we'll do is, so both the things are not used here. We'll comment this out, we'll copy this from here, we'll come here to the sign up page, we'll comment this out, we paste it here. Now we'll copy this as well, and here what we'll do is we'll paste it here. We'll replace the messages, like we'll copy this and paste it here. We'll comment this out, we'll copy this again, and do this, basically do this for all the messages, right? Hit save. So message is not defined, so we'll comment this again, we'll hit save. Our error is gone. So now here we'll use the conditional rendering. So toast dot show. If show means, if show toast is true, then we'll render the toast, or else we'll render nothing. So right now we'll to see our sign up page, we need to go to our app.js and comment this and uncomment this, right? So our sign up is visible. Oh, message is not shown. Let me just check. Okay, I do not know why is. Oh, we are not passing any props here, right? So this needs three properties. So first one is set toast equals to set toast. Second one is the message, which is equals to toast dot message, and the last one is the type, which is equal to toast dot type. Hit save, and now our toast should be working. We'll hit reload. So now, so all fields are required when we type everything. Okay, when we make this an email, passwords do not match. Let me change the error message. So passwords do not match. So passwords is the first priority. So 1 2 3 1 2 3, right? Full name should be at least 3 characters long. Okay, now it's 3 characters long. And I forgot to mention, like we need to trim all these values in our validation. So I'll select these three validations, and I'll just trim, and then we check the length, right? If we didn't use trim, so let me just show you. So if the user typed D and type a lot of spaces in between and try to submit, it's a valid full name, right? But if we do trim, it's not a valid thing, right? So the full name error message is shown here. And before our application gets really messy, we'll organize our code. So first we'll create a components folder, components, and we'll move our components there, right? So our components are login and sign up. So we'll drag these three and paste it inside the components. See, can't resolve sign up, right? So inside our app.js, right, it can't resolve. So we'll copy this and paste it here. Hit save. Sign up page. Oh, inside our sign up page, it can't resolve the toast. So we'll have a separate folder for toast. So we'll make a new folder called UI, and we'll move these two files inside this folder. Move, yes. So first error message is in the sign up page. So we'll go to the sign up page. So it can't resolve the toast, right? So we'll just remove this. We'll come back, we'll come here, and we'll re-import this. Hit enter. Let's see. Yeah, now it should be working fine, right? Yeah, that's all for this video. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.